Hey, this is Tom from MVP Chess. Welcome to MVP Chess Live. So I'm going to play a live chess game tonight in the 10-minute pool on chess.com. I've had this request from a number of subscribers, so I'm trying to give the people what they want. I'm going to try to talk through my thought process so you can understand what I'm thinking about move by move, and I hope it's instructional for you. And after the game, we will do a quick analysis afterwards, without an engine, of course. You know, we're trying to practice active learning and trying to identify the critical moments in the game ourselves. Okay, so let's do this. This is the first time I've ever done this before. While I'm waiting to be paired, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Okay, we have a pairing with gentleman named Ali Rad, the American flag. Okay, he plays pawn to b6, a very hyper modern opening. What do I want to play here? Let's take full control over the center. If black's not going to do it, we'll take it. Bishop d3. Knight f3. I'm wondering if I had just stepped into like a quick f5 there. I think I may have been too hasty with bishop d3, but okay. Looks like I got d4 adequately defended. He may be able to come with knight b4, which he does. Okay. Let's pin this knight. So if he takes on d3, which he does, should I recapture with the pawn or with the queen? I'm actually leaning towards the pawn here. I want to open up the C file for my rook and just give this pawn a little bit more cover. You know, it was facing some pressure from the knight on f6, the bishop on b7. How am I doing so far? Already down on the clock, of course. You know, it's natural when you're talking through your moves to use a little bit more time than you would normally. All right, so I got kind of like an annoying pin here on f6, leading development, maybe some play down the c file. Pretty strong center. Only thing I'm missing is my light squared bishop, but the game goes on. I knew my opponent was going to play some lame opening on my first stream. I just knew it. Like, why can't we have a knight or for Ruy Lopez? Of course, we're playing the Owen's defense. Oh well, it's better than the London. That's for sure. All right, got my opponent thinking here. Does he want to play g5? That is a pretty weakening move. I'm guessing black's going to play bishop e7 here. Just developing. Oops, misfire there. Bishop e7 and just break this pin and take it from there. So, over to you in this position. What would you play with white next? What plans are you looking at? Let's try to make this as active as possible. He does play g5. Okay. He's going for a real initiative on the king's side. I think that this is very weakening. Very weakening indeed. Okay. So this knight is hanging. Do I have any tactics involving this knight? I can't take on g5. That doesn't work. Knight e5, he's just taken anyway. I think I just continue developing. And which way do I take here? With the h pawn or the f pawn? Probably the h-pawn. And yeah, let's take with the h-pawn. So black's king is going to find some difficulty getting safe in this position. I'm looking at a move like this just to blow things up. Just to blow things up. I'm doing it. D5. I want open files. I want to be able to attack this king. Okay, he plays queen f6. That seems a little risky to me. I'm really looking at this move e5 right now. And to just start an attack. Let's play it. e5. And what do I do about this pawn? That's the question here. Could take on e6. Which way would he take back? All right. Like we said, king's in the middle. I'm the one attacking. I'm looking for open lines. If I can get a knight into f6, I would be looking really good. And that's where I'm throwing the knight in right here. Notice the c-pawn's hanging too. Is he going to take with the light-scored bishop? That would be dangerous. I'm not worried about double pawns here, right? Because I'm the one attacking. And he went for it. Okay, c-pawn's hanging. Whoa, he castles queenside. Is he crazy? Is this dude crazy? All right. Let's just go queen a4. Just looking for some sacrifices in this position. Don't want to throw the knight in just yet. Let's develop our rook, put some pressure here. That was a very bold move by black. No disrespect, Ali. Didn't mean to call you crazy, but wow. But then again, where else is your king going to go? You know, you've played this very, very aggressively. Okay, I saw that move, and I was thinking about playing knight h4. Just to plug things up. If he grabs the pawn, I have the fork. So, but what if he keeps... Yeah, and he can't play bishop e7 because then the d7 pawn's hanging. I like this move. This reminds me of a move that Fischer had been playing in some of the games of his I was reviewing, where he just kind of threw a knight on the rim, which sometimes is dim or grim. You know, knights aren't great on the side of the board, but when you're able to put it there strategically and slow your opponent's counterplay, it can definitely be worthwhile sometimes. All right, now I'm going to come back, hit c7, and then maybe follow up with a4. And it's difficult for him to defend laterally, right? Again, because we got this fork. Ooh, okay. Let's play a4. Just trying to create some weaknesses here. Let's take. If he takes on h4, I have an intermezzo. Okay. So it looks like he's taken on h4. What can I do about that? One thing I'm looking at is just trying to play on the queen side, the other thing I notice is that, so he's broken his coordination with this pawn. Can I just sack the rook here and then play queen takes? It looks like I can. So I think that was, boom, let's play it. That was the downside of playing the bishop to the e7. He needed a coordinated defense on the d7 square. Now we've got this check. And this is looking pretty good. Now, after I take the rook, he can't even take on h4 because his queen's hanging. I'm just looking if there's an even better move in this position than taking the rook. I don't think there is, though. So I'm going to take it. Threaten some nasty stuff on c7. Threatening to take this pawn. His king is wide open. He's got an open kimono king. And it looks like I'm going to bring home the bacon in this game. Even have ideas of playing rook c7, giving some checks and mate and attacking this bishop. So looking good. Looking good. Okay, he decides to take there. But of course now the bishop's hanging. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think I am. I'll take. If he takes on b2, I can just play queen c7. And, you know, I got a completely winning position. King's got a nice safe square on h2. I don't have to worry about any back rank mates or anything like that, which is really nice. So just waiting for black's move. Resigning would be completely understandable in this position. Okay, credit to my opponent. He fights on. Rook c8. Let's take. I would love a queen exchange right about now. Let's see. Maybe I just come back and keep everything nice and protected. That's I'm not sure about that move, but like I've got such a commanding position. Let's just keep b2 protected. Let's just keep e4 protected and try to swing this knight in. Knight g6. With the idea of maybe bringing the knight. Oh, here we go. Over to you. What would you play in this position? Pause your videos. I need to play this live. Queen e7, check. Let's get these queens off the board. So that's always a good thing to do when you have a material advantage such as this, is to trade queens. And I'm just trying to bring my king over to the queen side. And there's really not much black can do in this position. He's a piece and a pawn down, which is completely winning advantage. Only real sorts of counterplay I have to worry about is his b5 pawn. But doesn't look like black's going to be able to do much with that. I'm going to be able to get my king over in time to defend that and then start probing for weaknesses with the knight. Take a pawn and black resign. Yeah, no surprise there. Good game by Ali Rad. I really enjoyed playing with you. Thanks so much. All right, so what we're going to do now, this is something I always do after I play my games, is I review them without an engine. Okay, trying to review actively. Don't want game review or the analysis engine to just spoon feed me the correct moves. So we have e4. I'm trying to bring the fight to black. He plays b6. Wah wah. But okay. We got to play the board. And I played bishop d3 here. I actually think this may have been a mistake. Like, is this just walking in? Is this just walking into f5? Is that a problem? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know much about the Owen's defense, admittedly. All right, but after bishop d3, he kind of misses that, so I'm able to bring the knight to f3. And he wastes some time going after this light squared bishop. Like, ideally, this isn't a piece I want to give up. But look, you know, he's wasted 1, 2, 3 tempi to take this bishop. I moved it to the d3 square in one move. So I think it's correct here for me to just play bishop g5 and let him take. Now, definitely had a choice here as far as, like, do I take with the queen? Do I take with the pawn? I just like structurally how taking with the pawn look. Because if you take it with the queen, this e4 pawn definitely needs some defending, especially if, you know, black could maybe undermine it with a bishop b4. You also have to worry about ideas like a5. And, you know, maybe a bishop coming to the a6 diagonal. Some annoying things there. So we'll have to check this one afterwards. I like c takes d3. Doubled pawns aren't always weak, you know. So taking with the c pawn here gives more defense to e4. Also gives me this nice half open file on the c file to work with, which actually really came in handy during the game. Pressuring c7, making black make some weakening moves. Also, black decided to go to the queen side, so that was a really good asset to have for that attack. Okay, and here I just drop back. Could take, but I'm trying to provoke weaknesses in black's position, and he took the bait. I'm really surprised about that decision. You know, he's going for an attack, but look how this pawn on d3, reinforcing e4, shutting down this diagonal. I'm really liking this decision, the way the game turned out. So knight h5. So black, in my opinion, is wasting way too much time with these knight moves chasing my bishops around. Okay, he spent 3 tempi to take my light squared bishop when I was able to recapture favorably with the c pawn, get an open file, reinforce my center. And now he's going after this bishop again, losing time. So I just continue developing. Like, where's your development of your dark squared bishop? Your king's still in the middle of the board. You've played all these pawn weaknesses. Like, you know, thank you very much. I mean, I love it when my opponents play this way. He took. Always a good idea to take towards the center. There are some times when you're staring down a potential open file where maybe it makes sense to take with the f-pawn. I'm not sure if this was one of them. You know, maybe it would have been nice to give myself the open f-file. That's really hard to say, but I think as a matter of principle, taking towards the center is probably the way to go. Okay, a6. I mean, black's worried about a knight coming in on b5 and making trouble on the c7 square, but your king's in the middle of the board. You haven't developed your dark squared bishop. You can't, and I say this on my channel so many times, normally it's not to a 2100, but you can't make slow pawn moves like that on the side of the board. Not when I'm about to tear your head off. Like, you just can't do it. And boom, d5. Of course d5. This has got to be the best move in the position. King's in the center. I'm opening this up. I want open lines and open files to attack your king. Queen f6. Black's trying to go to the queen side. Was e5 the right choice in this position. Not so sure about that. Not so sure about that. Maybe it over weakened. It over weakened. It weakened the d5 square, and maybe gave his bishop too much scope. Hard to say, but e5 is a really tempting move. And after this, we're opening lines. So that's my one concern about e5 is, did I give this bishop too much scope? Would this pawn have been better back here? But what I really liked about this pawn advance e5 was that now I have access to the e4 square. And you know, I'm jumping in to the f6 next. C7's hanging, so white's got to do something about this, and gave up the light square bishop. Very risky proposition, especially castling queenside when you've got this light square weakness, more light square weaknesses, more light square weaknesses. And I was able to take advantage of it. So first things first is I'm able to play queen a4, the gain of tempo, right? This pawn's weak, you got to defend it. Boom, and then I bring my other rooks in. Notice he has not developed his bishop yet. Okay, and this attack on the king side is still in its infancy, right? It's in the Stone Age. So g4, and then I'm really happy with this move, knight h4. Don't know if it's best. The computer would probably hate this, but you know, I've been looking, like I said, at a lot of Fischer's games. Doing this series on my channel on the Najdorf, and when he has these opposite sides castling positions and his knight is kicked, very often he's just bringing it to the H file and just plugging this line, slowing down black's attack, making it a little bit harder. So I mentioned this during the game, but just to show you guys, tactically this works out, because if black takes here, Forktown. And if black keeps attention and tries to develop the dark square bishop, so we saw this in the game, not in this position, but then d7's hanging. And black's got big time problems. Can't even bail himself out with b5 because this is curtains. So I think he kind of saw that, and that's why he played the pawn move b5. I think his idea was to prepare bishop e7, but I'm really proud of myself for finding this accurate move, queen c2, hitting this square, provoking c6, and then playing a4. I think in this position black maybe wants to try to keep things closed, but again, he rushed bishop e7. He rushed this move. So just in case you missed it in the game, this was a really instructive moment, turning point in the game. Pause your videos. If you missed it, here's your chance to find my winning move. If you didn't, let's just practice our recall, okay? What did I play in this position to bring home the bacon? Right, so again, it all comes down to these light square weaknesses. And bishop e7 is a desirable move, but now all of a sudden, this d7 square is weak. So I exchanged and boom, played the killer move, rook d7. Really good move. My only question is, in this position, can black survive by capturing here instead? Probably not. That's his only way to try to like defend laterally with the queen, but you know, I can just play a move like this, intermezzo, then take. Yeah, that's a dumpster fire for black. So I don't think it's really changing anything too much. I think black's pretty much forced to address his pawn's tension on the queen side, and then I got that sick tactic, rook takes d7, and then I took the rook, and yeah, from here on out, found that nice way to liquidate in a completely winning endgame and black resign in short order. So, all right, not the most exciting opening for our first video, but I think an instructive game. And thanks so much to Ali Rad for the game. Really appreciate it. And like I said in the intro, let me know in the comments. Let me know by liking this video whether or not you liked it and you'd like to see more games where I play at a slow, instructive time, 10 minutes, and analyze afterwards. Okay, so thanks again so much for watching. And don't forget, if you want to elevate your game, check out my website, mvpchess.com. You can also get there by scanning the QR code below. All right, good night. I'll see you next time. Bye.